What is going on, Alpha Hunters? Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this move today. Thursday. Nice, another move up. Nice, another little gap up today. And you can see the SPY not really trading higher after the gap up. Kind of like yesterday in the first parts of the day. We had a gap up yesterday, and we didn't move horribly bullish really until about the last 2 hours, and then we kind of went on a very minor little run. Today, kind of gapped up, kind of floated at the daily highs or current daily highs for about the first hour or so, and then slowly started to just trade down. And we haven't seen an acceleration like massive bearishness. We're not seeing anything like that. But I'm not really digging these gaps. I can tell you that. um, they're not. It's not like we're getting price intraday buying conviction. Okay, it's driven overnight by futures traders, and if people aren't buying stocks, then eventually it won't last. So, and it might be we're not seeing a lot of bearishness just for simple fact of end of quarter position management, right? If you own a fund and you send out quarterly statements, you gotta kind of show a proper position of what your fund is supposed to be about. It doesn't matter what kind of opportunities you see in the quarter or whatever, or even quarter or longer. You have to manage and position your fund as you have told your clients you need to, like your clients, how your fund is going to be managed. And so we might be seeing a little bit of buying from those kind of rotations possibly going on. But it is kind of a weird situation where two back-to-back gap up days like we've had is just, I'd say, a little excessive. I even thought yesterday was a bit excessive, but after the bullishness we saw go into close, it just kind of made sense. We went a little bit higher. And today's gap up, and we've kind of traded down. And you look at the intraday activity, and it doesn't look horrible. It's just like a minor trade down from open. But you look at that daily, and it's like, yeah, we have traded lower. So just interesting, just an interesting tidbit. Take a look here at the Qs. Qs actually took out March highs. Actually Q1 highs. So Qs at the upper end of Q1 performance. IWM at the lower end of Q1 performance. So, I mean, and March has driven really pretty much all the performance for the IWM that you need to know. I mean, they got abolished the beginning part of March, and the Qs didn't. SPY kind of roughly. I mean, it's kind of at the upper ends of March, but it's kind of in the middle range of its Q1, right? The lows down here. That's basically the lows of where March hit, and then beginning of February up here. So it's roughly in the middle. And we only got one more trading day. Well, 2 more hours and one more trading day. So we'll see how the market closes for Q1. But the main, I'm not gonna say the main, but it's gonna be interesting how the market performs the rest of this year, this bear market, because we're gonna have 2 quarters of bullishness in this bear market. Now, you could say, well, the bear market's over. We're on a new bull run. That's true. You could go with that. I'm not one to believe that. I still think we do have lower lows to come in that we haven't seen yet. Now, and so it's just interesting. So we got two. We're gonna have 2 back-to-back bullish quarters, and we have never seen that before in a bear market. We never saw one bullish quarter in 07, 09. We never saw 2 back-to-back bullish quarters in 2000, 2002. We did have 1, 2, and then this one down here was actually the bottom. Okay, so we never had 2 back-to-back bullish quarters. And let me go to the SPX so we can see much farther back in time. Here's the 87 crash. Obviously, that was just a crash of basically one day. And then we got a little bit of a pullback here. We had one bullish quarter in that kind of bear market. How much of a pullback was this? It was about 27% of a pullback in that bear market. And then the 60s and 70s, mid 60s, we had a bear market. No bullish quarters even in that bear market until we got to the bottom. Same thing here, early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, all bearish quarters until we got to the bottom. And then the early mid 70s, we had a bear market and we had one bullish quarter. But this is going to be the first time we're actually going to have a back-to-back bullish quarters, because there's probably no way we drop. 5% I think it would have to be tomorrow. Let me see. Just roughly from where we are, we would have to drop right there, 5%. So even if we dropped 4%, we still need to go down 1% today. And the market doesn't seem like it wants to do anything. So you can just go and take that off the table. It just doesn't seem like the market's going to do anything. But that's fine. That is okay. Just trade what we got. And it's going to be curious to see like how the market comes out next week and what possibly what wants to be different next week. All right. If the market comes out and starts selling right away, then we know the bullishness this week was from quarter end. It was from quarter end adjustments and stuff like that, positioning. And so if we just come out right away on Monday, April 3rd, and start selling, even if it takes like a day or two, like if we don't really go anywhere on Monday and Tuesday, we kind of just very much chop sideways. Wednesday, I can see us coming out, selling down and start selling. So it'd be interesting to see what happens next week. And then also kind of what happens tomorrow. Because if we sell back down tomorrow, even if we don't get like super crushed, not 5% crushed, but if we get back down to like 399, 398 or so, it's going to set up a big weekly doji, false breakout above last week's high, false breakout back above 400. And it just sets up a lot of different scenarios for probably just a false breakout. So I'd be kind of curious to see what happens probably as we go into close today and tomorrow. But if we start to turn bullish and ride bullish into close, then yeah, there'll be a lot riding on tomorrow. But just kind of interesting time period, as we haven't really seen a whole lot of news out there that says like, hey, the Fed's backstopping banks, or Fed's doing, X, Y, and Z to help support the financial systems. What I missed, bro, I was counting on you to tell me, man. I have no clue. Market just gapped up today. That's it. I don't even know what the excuse me. I don't even know what the GDP, the adjustment this morning from the GDP. I don't even know what that did. Let me see if I can pull it up in the broker real quick. Market watch calendar. For whatever reason, I already took it off. Well, that's really annoying. Yeah, it took it off the broker. All right. Well, that's a bummer. I didn't want it to do that. I have no idea what the revision number was. 2.6 versus 2.7. Okay, I came in a little soft. See, you know more about what's going on than I do. So that's like, I don't pay attention to the market, man. I don't. I just stay locked into enjoying the life. I just got to get caught up for the 1 hour in the afternoon. Apple's holding strong today. It didn't really have a huge gap up, not like the Qs did. The Qs had a little bit larger of a gap up than Apple did, but Apple in that first couple of hours of the trading day actually traded higher than the Qs. So people actually came out and bought up Apple. Hasn't really sold down as much, so it's kind of interesting. Hasn't even reached the daily lows that I put in this morning. The Qs did take out the daily lows about 20-25 minutes ago. Yeah, from this morning. So, interesting. IWM has been really weak. So, IWM had a nice gap up today. and has obviously sold down. It kind of looks like the SPY just a lot more aggressive on the sell down for the past couple hours. The SPY has been a little bit more subtle about its sell down. One thing that's kind of interesting here on the SPY is we've had 4 red hourly candles to start the day. Going to be kind of curious to see what happens here over the next 22, 23 minutes. So have we even had? Yep, we've had one 30-minute green candle about an hour ago. So it's just kind of interesting. It's just a really interesting past 2 days, like big gap ups, but the market not moving a whole lot during the day. Not really moving a whole lot during the day. So we can go find out just if it's more rotation stuff that's going on. You can see Alphabet getting hit pretty good. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, the big four, or 4 of the biggest ones kind of holding up the market. And then also semiconductors doing their part. Nvidia's up 1%, Intel 2%, AMD 2%. Okay, so let's go check out sector performance. But we're seeing some bearishness on the financials. Yeah, I mean Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, Charles Schwab. I saw some bad report about Charles Schwab. I want to check them out. SCWHW. Yeah, there we go. Down 5.9%. Nice little gap down today and trading lower. Gap down roughly 2.5%. Nice little trade down today on Schwab. Apparently, something about their paper. People have concerns about their paper. And by what they mean by paper is like bonds, stuff like that long term stuff that kind of got SVB. They think Charles Schwab might have some of that issue, and it's like they're not the only financial service company that's going to have that issue. What else is out there? UPS. UPS is trading down. FedEx trading down. Trading down a little bit, not much. CSX, UNP. Okay, so we're getting some selling coming in on a lot of those stocks that were doing really pretty good at the end of last week, beginning of this week. CS, UMP, what's the other one? NSC. NSC, nice gap up, hasn't really done much. All right, let's check out sector performance. What you watching today, Steve? Is anything moving, dude? Nice position on the NQs, man. Killing it right now. I don't know how long I would hold that, but nice. All right, so this is what's happened today, the price action today. So yeah, a lot of nothing, most of nothing during the trading day, except for financials. Financials is about the only area where it's really gotten hit today, and makes some sense. I mean, we looked at Schwab; they seem to be doing pretty bad. A lot of other red out there: Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, AXP, American Express. Is this PayPal? PGR. What's PGR? Oh, Progressive. Okay. Progressive Insurance. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of even Berkshire just turning. BRK.B. I don't ever look at Berkshire. I'll look at that in a second. Let's just run through this. Okay, so SPX, mostly everything's kind of in line with it. Yeah, mostly everything's in line. It's just financials. Not the gap. Yeah. Real estate's doing pretty good today. So that should be the case if we look at sector performance. Real estate's up 1%. Yep, that matches. So that's good. So real estate's up. Tech's up. Discretionary's up. Okay. Not staples. Materials are up a little bit over the S&P 500. Utilities roughly in line actually with S&P 500, and then healthcare, communications, staples, industrials, energies. Man, they're all like bundled right there together. Yeah, financials just getting smacked today. That's it. Financials just getting smacked. Not a whole lot going on. Most of everybody's in the middle of the pack. There's not a lot going on. Not a lot of discrepancy across the board. Spy. Give me this. Thank you. All right. So we'll see if the market bounces here over the last hour and 45 minutes. But let's take a look. BRK.B. There we go. Wow. Berkshire came out and got hit. See, but you said gap ups in the AM and holding the levels, taking the GDP's numbers in stride, even taking middle of the day Fed talk and absorbing it nicely. Yeah, I don't care to be bullish. There's not much going to get me to be bullish. Although these gap ups are kind of concerning. Speaking of gap, is gap still traded? No, they're not. Or is it GPS? Yeah, there it is. GPS. Gap. Yeah, there's not much that's going to get me to kind of be medium and longer term bullish. Medium term bullish. I'm always longer term bullish. Shorter term, I'm just not much. That's. Short term, it's always like a waffle. It's always a coin flip. Gap though, they did not have a good March. Yeah, they did not have a good March. Man. Although that's a pretty good gap up today. Qs. Let's see. Qs. What say you? Qs are looking good. I can see them being bullish going into next week. A little bit. I don't know how extremely bullish I would expect them to be. That's one heck of a strong quarter there on the Qs. Man, that's a huge upper wick there on the IWM. That is massive. This is a quarterly. Looking at quarterly charts. There's a huge upper wick for the quarter. The Dow Jones, man, look at that! Look at that bounce back it had last quarter. It didn't really do much this quarter. It kind of sets up kind of bullish going into the next quarter. We'll see if that winds up being the case. SPY got two back-to-back, kind of three actually, kind of upper wicks. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If the SPY pushes higher, it's gonna look pretty good. It's gonna look pretty nice. All right, let's go run through some of these dudes. All right, so we saw some weakness in financials. Financials just getting hit. Dang, Bank of America getting hit. Wells Fargo, they getting hit. Well, they got hit. I guess they're not getting hit right now, but man, they got hit this morning. Jeez. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. Yeah, a lot of financials, man. They were selling financials this morning. What about Visa, MasterCard? Visa, MasterCard. What about PayPal and Square? Square bouncing back from that draw. Yeah, it's bounced back quite a bit. It dropped 27%. Let me pull this up real quick. Fib retracements. So it got to with it Jesus. It came back to about that 62 fib area. Yeah, it's It's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, that'd be when I was be looking to sell it. If you're trying to play that bullish over the past couple of days, that'd be a good spot. What else is out there? Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. Looked at a lot of that. AXP. AXP. AXP is consolidating very nicely here. Be interesting to see which way this breaks down, but yeah, this looks very much a consolidation. It's getting really tight here the past couple days on an AXP there. Tech. Look at this! Look at this gap up here on the XLK. Just up, out, like out in nowhere. I mean, it'd be really bad if Tech XLK comes and gaps down and leaves that island reversal probably just right there by itself. See if that happens tomorrow morning. Be curious. XLK. XLC, or the XLC, up about 0.25%, not a whole lot. XLY, nice gap up, a little bit of a sell down on discretionary. Staples, gap up, sideways action today. Healthcare, a little bit more of a sell down there on the XLY, on the XLV. Utilities, gap up. Tried to get bought up this morning. Sold down for a good part of the day. Bouncing here recently. Energies up about 0.25%. Yeah, it's just getting so quiet here at the end of this quarter. Future guys are just moving the market, and stock guys are like, yeah, we're just going to wait. We're just going to wait. We're not going to do anything. We don't need to do anything. Schwab News influencing the financial sector? Probably. Most likely, I would agree with that. I would agree with that statement. Financials, yeah, down 0.5%. XLI, nice gap up there on the XLI. Coming back down, starting to turn it positive though, or turn bullish. Industrial materials up 0.5%. Nice gap up on materials. Wow, that's a nice gap up. Real estate though, gapped up over 1% because basically where it is right now, but it hasn't gone anywhere. Just sideways. Just a lot of sideways past 2 days. I wonder if we're gonna get a late day movement, kind of like how we did yesterday. even yesterday it was really kind of late. Kind of got in that last hour. It started that push, I guess, in the second to last hour, and then that last hour got that push. We'll see which way it goes today. I am going to be kind of curious to see how this hourly candle ends here in about 10 minutes. Does it end green or does it end red? So tomorrow finish strong or flop the end. I don't know, man. To be pretty honest, stock guys seem like they're very much content with letting the future dudes do whatever they want, and then they're just kind of sitting around. Like there's not much. Like look at the volume. Just look at the volume. Past every day this week, it's been super low. I know it's kind of hard to see. Actually, let me go to a 195. 195 splits the days in half, and like you can see, like even today, just a super light volume morning, and that's just kind of what we've had all week. Like just really low volume. You see the moving average here, the shaded area just dropping off super hard. So I think stock guys are just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Let's get statements out at the end of the month, and then maybe they'll start moving stuff next week, I guess. But I mean, it seems like they're mostly content on whatever the future guys do. They're like, okay, we're cool with it, whatever. So I have no idea about tomorrow. And actually, after seeing how much light volume there is this week, I'd probably just be down to not even play it, honestly. There's not... I mean, it seems like we're a little extended here. over the past couple days with these gap ups. I don't know if I'd be bearish, but just maybe a little bit more of a weight because we got a nice break above all the moving averages. They're all about to curl up. I mean, they're all looking pretty good. That's why you're long futures. I mean, you could be long the Qs, sell on the open. But yeah, it's. I mean, I get you. We'll see what happens next week. Because if next week we see action start taking place like right away on Monday, we'll kind of know it was just quarter in. It's always tough to tell. It's always tough to tell. But oh, there you go. There's a pop for you. Do you have a price target in mind, or are you just on the Nasdaq futures? What? Oh, so went to the wrong thing. I mean, I do like a lot of this basing. 13.6. 13.6 is up here. So you're basically taking it to the August high. I don't know if the SPY rides it that high. Just because the financial issue we heard recently. 13.6 on the NASDAQ. I'm curious. Let me see something. I want to see what the MACD and RSI say. I haven't looked at these guys in a while. They're both curling up. They're both about to push even more into the bullish area. They look pretty good. They look strong. Qs. Yeah, they look good on the Qs too. MACD and stochastics. I'm kind of curious what they say on the hourly though, because I was kind of thinking after the past 2 days of gap ups, that might be overextended. So the stochastic's a little bit overextended. Got a little, very little bit of a divergence here on the MACD on these blue line highs, but not. I mean, it's nothing. It's not a big deal at all. Okay, interesting. Okay. There's not much to really go off of there. I wonder if the Qs say something a little bit different. Qs. So we did make a new high today. So that's kind of the interesting thing on the Qs, is it did pop a new high. So that kind of that leaves this open to be possibly a divergence. Possibly a divergence here. Man, it's kind of tough. I mean, that's kind of tough. That's all I can say. Man, that's a tough one. And it's not like super clean. I mean, is it a technical divergence? Yeah. Is it a really good looking one? Not really. Not really. Nice divergence here on AAPL. So yeah. Yeah. Sometimes there's things that are like real clean, but I would agree with you, man. It's not often, and that's the thing. That's kind of what I was trying to meet. I kind of meant by it though is when it's not like super clean. Usually, it's not like the best setup. Like the odds of it working are not all that great. Not saying it. Not saying they don't. Not saying it doesn't work. It's just, yeah. I like it to look a little bit better. Yeah. I'm just more shocked by the volume this week. It's just futures have moved up, and there's just still been no volume. Popped new highs on the Qs and the SPY. Still not really an uptick on volume. It's just interesting. My goodness, I got the hiccups. And actually today we finally, after the selling that we just had over the previous 4 hours, we finally just came into the 10 EMA on an hourly. So finally just came into that. Looks like we're finally going to get a green hourly candle. So we're about to close here in about 3 minutes. So we've seen some bullishness finally today. All right. I dig it. Pay me my dividends in cash. The hated rally. I don't think there's ever a hated rally. I mean, remember most people are freaking invested. Most people don't want to see the market go down. I mean, traders probably do because they can see the short term quick buck, right? Because I mean that's just how short moves or bearish moves work, right? They're quick. Let's go back to that SPY. Like, right? They're quick. They were quick, right? This has been a grind over the past like 3-4 weeks to get back up to where we were when SVB started having issues, and that was just a quick sell off that lasted like a couple days, a few days, all done within a 1 week, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's not really hated. I mean, I got family that's got retirement funds. They don't like seeing the market go down. They're like, damn, I realize I just got to work another 5 years. It's always funny, man, when I talk to people. It's like, dang it, the market's not doing good. I got to work another couple of years. I love hearing that. I love hearing that, man. It's not about the money. It's about, dang, I got to work more. Sorry, it's just funny. All right, so we're about 2 minutes away. We're about a minute away. It's closing an hourly, half hour. So cool. Probably, yeah. We're definitely gonna have a green hourly. Very nice, strong 30-minute too. Look at that 30-minute. Nice. 15 past 45 minutes have been bullish. Yeah. Look at that's. I mean, that's looking pretty good. Kind of like how it did yesterday. Kind of started about that 2 p.m. Eastern, roughly. Yeah, roughly about that 2 p.m. Eastern time. Started running into the close. We'll see if it goes all the way to close today. I don't know if it would, but I don't know why it wouldn't. Q's, man. There's not much VIX. How's the VIX handling? VIX filled the gap down from yesterday. Okay. Very nice. So the VIX is a little bit elevated today. Interesting. Bullish day, VIX is up. All right. That's interesting. Dollar dropping down about 0.5%. 10-year yield. Oh, man, 10-year yield is super flat. Look at that. Look at that. Past 2 days, there's nothing. It's going back to like pre SVB moves, man. Just super flat days. GLD. So dollars down, gold's up. Makes sense. HYG up a little bit. High yield bonds up. All right. Corporate grade or investment grade up a little bit. Not a whole lot. Yeah, there's not. That's just stinks, man. It's just super boring during the days. Oh my gosh. Every day it gaps up. Fake like it's going to fill and then comes to an upside to finish strong. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that's the other bad thing, right? Is leaving behind like a lot of these gaps. I'm not one to believe that you actually have to fill gaps, but unless it's like a never before traded price level. And what I mean by that is I actually have a perfect example. Perfect example all the way back over here in April. This price level right here, we had a gap up. It was a perfect gap up coming out of April 1st. Let me zoom in on it. Close that. All right, this gap right here came out of April 1st into a Monday. This was, I believe, Easter weekend. and then gapped up. We had never traded at this price level. Never traded at this price level. You know what has been the most traded price level over the past 9 months? Since then, since we actually came back down to this price level, we took off. We went, just kept steamrolling to all time highs. We tried to retest and fill it right here back in May of 21, but it didn't. It just kept going. It tried to fill it and just kept going, and then it topped out. And that was the top out. I was telling my friends, I was like, watch out for that, man. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, dude. We're gonna come back and feel that. And at the end of 2021, when I was telling some friends that, they're like, no way, man. We're going to like 5,000. I was like, dude, I'm telling you, watch out for that. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to that one price level. Right here, like this 401. So I'm gonna zoom out, I'll show you that whole thing. Zoom out. It's this blue line right here. Or gray line, I guess. And look at that. We've just chopped all in through it. For the past we got there last May and it's March, so 10 months. 10 months we've moved around that price level since we gapped and we never traded there before. I can show you all the time before it. And this was the previous all-time high. So there's no previous data that actually traded at that spot right there. It was just interesting. I was like, it was just cool to watch that, and I was like, all right, you guys, I'm telling you, we will come fill that spot. I think we filled it plenty of times. The market is now like stuck to that price level. It just won't leave it, man. Just stuck right in that. I guess even over the past even this quarter. I mean, just look how much we several weeks there and okay, this is December. I mean, we were right on it there in December, the middle of December. Right on it there in January, February. Yeah. That's about the only time I can really remember that there was actually a gap that didn't fill. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. That never had a price traded at it. I mean, there's probably ones previous in history, but that was the only one I can really recall and bring up as an example. So, yeah, those are the only gaps that really worry me. Is any gap that has never ever had price traded at that level. Those are the gaps that are like, okay, we'll fill that gap. It might take a year. It'll happen. 21 was powerful. Yes, it was extremely powerful. And then 2022 said, "Be my bitch." Actually, not really. So we started in 2021. We started around 368. We got down to that level in 2022, but 2022 actually still ended the year around 382. So, I mean, 2022, for how bad it was, it didn't overtake the market gains that 2021 had. I mean, that's just how bullish 2021 was. It was just extremely bullish. 2022, even with it pulling back all of the gains, it still didn't close that low. It still only closed down like 90%. Find out. Let's find out. Open roughly there. Topped out right about there. Man, this is gonna be hard to see. Jesus, all these freaking lines, man. So it closed back on a retracement of probably about 85% or so of the 2021 gains. So yeah, I mean it's not bad. 2022, man. Everybody talking about how bad of a year it was. It's like, dude, 2021 was just that great of a year. Just that great of a year. All right. Oh, look at that. Market going into close, just bullish. Just buy it. Buy it and don't even ask questions. I'm kidding. You should always ask questions. Like, what's your risk limit? That's the questions you always ask. Ask the sane questions. Man, I mean, powerhouse, dude. Back to back days, just kind of nothing first half of the day or first part of the day, and then at the end, just the bullishness comes in. All right. I wonder how Microsoft's been. I haven't really been looking at Microsoft all that closely, and I like the company a lot. I like a lot of the growth potentials that Microsoft has. I had too much lunch. I mean, yeah. I mean, just. I wonder. I'm about to pull up sector rotation. I wonder if is all this coming from tech. Let me look. I mean, tech's leaving a lot of it. I mean, because I was mostly looking at AAPL here, and it's up 0.9%. Tech, yeah, leading the rally, man. It's crazy. How's Meta? Meta actually gapped down today. Man, that thing looks super compressed, like it's about to break out. That looks really strong. That thing looks like it's about to run to 224 easily. It's just compressing, consolidating here. So what's interesting is I saw this headline a couple like last week or the week before, and basically it was like this financial analyst or some finance guy was thinking. I know I won't be able to find it now, but basically he's thinking like in 2 weeks we're gonna start to see the collapse in the market. And I'm like, well, earnings at that point in time, earnings was like 3 weeks away. So I'm like, okay, I guess maybe we start selling right before earnings. Maybe, possibly. Look at the gap above on Meta. Gap above. Oh, this one? Are you talking about this gap or this gap? These are both monster gaps. We got one early 2022, and we got one last month on earnings. But yeah, I was like, why do they think like I think it's like next week was kind of what the article was hinting at. It's either next week or the week after in April. So either the first or second week of April, and it was like why then? And I don't know. I mean, now that I kind of think about it, it's like maybe early 22. Yeah, this was that earnings gap down from them saying that TikTok was kicking their ass. Essentially, that's what they said. TikTok was beating their crap in. So that's what this earnings gap down was. Yeah, and they were trying to build up the metaverse and all that kind of stuff. So they had a lot of cost. They had a lot of cost. That's why they had negative. They actually didn't beat on earnings. They had a lot of cost, and they were doubling down on the metaverse. And TikTok was kicking their butt. So they came out and like said, "Hey, we're gonna have high costs and we're having a declining business model because TikTok's kicking our butt." Like that was that earnings because yeah, they got smoked. Um, but I don't know. Maybe maybe as we get to next week, maybe we start to see some bearishness come in. Maybe he was kind of thinking like after we get past Q1 statements and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of I'm kind of now I am kind of curious about the rationale of what the headline was getting at, but I didn't look at the article. But I do know that like what the third week. Let me look Goldman Sachs. Is it the third week of? Yeah, it's roughly the third week of April's when we start to get financial companies reporting earnings. So, I mean, it's not. He wasn't talking like that far. It wasn't that far out that they were talking. So, I don't know. Maybe it's the lead up to financial earnings that people will start selling off and being protective, I guess. I don't know. I mean, we'll probably find out in that third week in April, third and fourth week, just how bad some of the liquidity is on some of the banks. If they've been having bank runs and they've had to liquidate long term paper, like it's going to show up as a massive loss on balance sheets and income statements. We'll find out. We'll find out. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it is going to be an interesting scenario if that winds up uh, being true. Because I also saw something that it was like 200 billion was pulled out of banks like last week, I think, or the week before. $200 billion. Like, Jesus, that's a lot of money. Okay. April is going to be an interesting one for real. It is, man. I think it is. We've had a lot of bullishness this month, this quarter. A lot of it has to do. I mean, I'm not gonna say a lot of it has to do, but I mean, I think a lot of it did have to do with. I mean, we saw a lot of bearishness last year, and so I think a lot of people were like, let's completely rebalance and let's put new capital to work because there was a lot of things that got beaten up last year that probably got overdone, and that's why you kind of saw them started bouncing in November, December. In Q4, a lot of things were even bouncing. Well, Fed officials call March rate hike appropriate with inflation high and bank resilient. I mean, y'all keep sucking money out of the economy. They're not going to remain resilient. Um, there's a lot of unknowns on what next for the U.S. banking sector. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns. Dow Jones rises 175 points after jobless claims, GDP data. Curious, does this have that GDP data? I know you already told me 2.6. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. Sometimes they'll be like GDP data and they don't even talk about it. Meanwhile, the final estimate of fourth quarter GDP came in at 2.6% below estimates that expected it to hold at 2.7%. Get the freak off my screen. Unchanged from the second estimate. Okay. There you go. Initial unemployment claims climbed to 198, topping Wall Street expectations of 195 for a rise to 195 versus 191 in the previous week. Yeah. So we do get some payroll data, I believe, tomorrow. Personal income, personal spending, and core PCE. I don't know how much all that's going to like really determine a massive move in the market tomorrow, but not to say that the market won't respond to it. So GDP growth came in at 2.6% in Q4. That's not a bad quarter, man. That's pretty good. See, we said, and what's the best way to counter a $200 billion removed from the banking accounts? Easy. Fed injecting $200 billion, or the FDIC or Treasury. One of them doing it. I saw. Oh man, let me see if because this was. I think this was today. I saw an article pop up that there was the largest account that was on SVB that got bailed out. The largest account, $13 billion. FDC considers forcing big banks to pay up after $23 billion hit. Whoa. Whoa. That's interesting. Wow. That'll hurt the bottom line if that happens. I'm not gonna read it, but man, you know what? I might come back to that later. Wow, that's interesting. I don't see that. I don't see that article headline. I just thought it was interesting. And that they said the largest account was 13 billion dollars. Oh, really? Oh, is that what? Oh, okay. Is that what you're talking? Are you talking about the 13 billion, or are you talking about the FDIC insurance? This thing facing almost 23 billion in costs from recent bank failures is considered steering a larger. Okay, okay. It's considered steering a larger than usual portion of the burden to the nation's biggest banks, according to the people with knowledge of the matter. Blah blah blah. Things you said. The plan of the proposal, so-called special assessment on the industry in May to shore up a $128 billion deposit insurance fund that's set to take hits after the recent collapse of SVB and Signature Bank. The regulator, under political pressure to spare small banks, has noted it has latitude in how it sets those fees. Interesting. Wow. That is very interesting. Like I said, man, you always want to be first and you want to be last. You don't want to be the dude in the middle that goes bankrupt. You want to be first because, hey, they're going to help support you. You want to be last because that's usually the last desperate measure before the economy goes into a complete toilet bowl and everybody's got to get bailed out. You don't want to be the dudes in the middle because they're like, okay, we're going to stop bailing you guys out. And then they realize, oh, yeah, we got to start bailing everybody out. They're going to have to raise the reserve amounts for real. Yeah, yeah. So that's going to hurt profitability. It's probably also going to reduce how much money's in the system from banks. I mean, it's just more capital restrictions. That's all that is. It's more capital restrictions. It's interesting. So, okay, yeah. That's. I didn't notice you said that the other day, dude. That's interesting. Ooh, because that's not a small chunk of change, man. What they're talking about having to replace from SVB and Signature, that's a lot of money. And that's already with the Fed reducing its balance sheet and reducing or raising rates and reducing how much money's circulating. It's just that's crazy. All right, dudes, I'm done. I don't really know like what else to look at. Honestly, there's not really much going on. Most of the story is pretty much like what the story of yesterday was. Large gap up. We didn't do much during most of the day. Yesterday we had a nice little run to kind of get the close. We'll see what happens today. Obviously we just ran pretty good here over the past hour. Nice little gap up today. It kind of held in there, but mostly just chopped into the bearish direction very slowly. I mean, most of the day's trading range has been 404 to 402. I mean, it's been a 2 point trading range. That's nothing. That's a pretty small move on the day. So, gold, gold. What you talking about? Them gold in them hills. Yeah, gold. Gold looks like it's probably gonna break down. It's probably gonna get a push. I don't know. Does it take out this high from last week? That's the question. Oh man, I don't know. How's silver doing? Oh, silver's been pushing this week. Look at that move. God, I'm so not aggravated, but aggravated about this. If I would have knew if I knew SPP was about to collapse, I would have been buying the silver. Let's be real. I mean, that was the perfect zone to get that. I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens anymore, dude. Yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know. But that, dude. I'll be pretty honest. That is what I love about the market. Not what I hate about the market. That's what I love about the market. It's like, dude, you had your shot, man. I tell people that all the time. Like, bro, you had your shot. You called your price level. It came to it. Your plan was to buy or sell at that price level. You got to do what your plan said, man. I just wanted to see a little bit more choppiness. That was it. I did want to see a little bit more choppiness, but I did have that price level right. It is what it is. It's fine. It's not the only opportunity ever, right? It's not the only opportunity ever. There's gonna be opportunities next month and the month after, next year. It's not a big deal. And I mean, we still might see silver and gold come back down. It might happen. But Outfunders, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we just kind of floated and didn't do much. I also wouldn't be surprised if we went like a little bit more bullish in the close. I wouldn't be surprised if we went a little bit more bearish. But I don't think we're going to have any drastic movements. So I mean, that's about all I got. So Outfunders, we'll see how the quarter is going to wrap up tomorrow. We do have a few things being announced tomorrow morning: personal income, personal spending, and core PCE. So we'll see how that kind of affects the market going into the quarter close tomorrow, monthly close, all that kind of stuff. So, Outfunders, y'all take care. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you hanging out. Take care, Outfunders.